First, I'd just like to make the point that we're very fortunate that His Majesty has allowed us to use Buckingham Palace for this event, and I need to say that, because in other aspects I probably wouldn't.
Royal staff shocked and broken after Princess Anne says goodbye forever. Princess Anne has said her final goodbye, and it's left everyone at her Edinburgh home feeling totally shocked and heartbroken. Staff were in tears as she quietly slipped away. This wasn't some big public send-off, it was a low-key, emotional farewell that really marks the end of an era. But hold on, this isn't just about a royal stepping back. The big question buzzing around the palace is, why would a princess, who's known for her crazy work ethic and handles over 400 official duties a year without a peep, suddenly decide to walk away from it all? This is a woman who's always put her duty first, steering the royal ship through some pretty rough waters. Her sudden exit just doesn't make sense. Turns out, there's more to the story than meets the eye. We found out that a private journal has been uncovered revealing Princess Anne's secret thoughts and her growing unease with how the monarchy is changing. And get this, there's even a secret letter from her late mom, Queen Elizabeth, that only Anne was trusted with, and it's said to contain a serious warning about the future of the crown. So what could have pushed this strong royal to make such a huge move? To really understand why she left, we need to dig into who she is beyond the crown.
It doesn't sound like a good idea from where I'm standing, I have to say.
Sure it does
I'm not quite sure what else we can do.
When people think of Princess Anne, they don't really picture drama or headlines. They think of someone who just gets stuff done. She's always been the unsung hero of the royal family, a woman who rolls up her sleeves and gets to work without making a big deal out of it. For decades, she's been a steady presence, a rock of stability. Fame and public adoration? Not her thing. She's all about service. Her calendar is jam-packed with over 400 official events every year. Whether she's visiting military units or supporting her many charities, she's the definition of royal duty. She definitely got her dad Prince Philip's no-nonsense vibe and her mom's strong commitment to the crown. While other royals were busy chasing the spotlight for glitzy reasons, Anne was quietly becoming the family's most dependable and crucial member. She's the one you could always count on to show up, do the work, and represent the family with grace. That's why her departure hit her staff so hard. To them, she wasn't just a boss, she was a steady, almost motherly figure. Reports from her Edinburgh estate painted a picture of real heartbreak. These are folks who've worked with her for years, some even decades. They saw her every day and held her in high regard. Her final goodbyes weren't stiff or cold, they were personal and heartfelt. She took the time to chat with them, showing how much she appreciated their loyalty. For them, watching her leave for the last time felt like seeing a pillar of their world fall apart. They were described as shocked and broken because they were losing a leader who was not only respected but truly cared for. Her absence creates a gap that's more than just professional, it's personal. The palace hasn't just lost its hardest worker, it's lost a piece of its heart. This departure leaves a big hole in the everyday running of the monarchy, a well-oiled machine that Anne helped keep running smoothly with her hard work.
I'm grateful because you've come together as a group. Interestingly, if you like, I'm not here because this was my choice. You very kindly asked me to become patron of your organizations. So it's an honor for me to have all of you here as part of that.
Anne's departure has definitely left a big hole in the monarchy. But what does it mean for the future of the royal family, especially for her brother, King Charles? Without Princess Anne around, King Charles is in for a tougher time. She wasn't just his sister, she was his go-to person, his support system, and his biggest fan. While Charles was getting ready to take the throne, Anne was out there handling royal duties, giving him the space to be the heir. But now that he's king, he's lost his most trusted ally. The pressure on him has shot up. Anne was the one he could count on to tackle any task, represent the crown like a pro, and give him the real talk behind closed doors. Her absence means more work and stress for an already overwhelmed king and the rest of the smaller monarchy. It's a huge hit both practically and emotionally. Her leaving comes at a time when the whole idea of royalty is changing. The monarchy has to keep up with a world that's moving faster than ever. It's not just about bloodlines and fancy palaces anymore. It's about character, connecting with the public, and proving you're worth it. Anne stood for the old school values of duty and service. Her stepping back marks a big change. The monarchy now has to figure out how to move forward and what it really stands for in this new age. This isn't just a personnel change, it's a serious challenge to what the institution is all about. That's why her sudden exit has shocked and confused everyone at the palace. It wasn't a planned retirement with a big announcement. It was quick, quiet, and kind of mysterious. Insiders don't see this as just a personal choice. They think it's a strong statement, a silent warning to the institution she dedicated her life to. What could she be warning them about? What did she notice behind the palace walls that made her feel she had to leave? The official silence has only added to the speculation. It hints that there are deeper issues going on, conflicts and disagreements that the public isn't supposed to know about. Her departure isn't the end of the story, it's just the start of a much bigger mystery.
He made efforts to be there, and particularly, I think, on a regular basis at bedtime. That degree of continuity when you're not going to be around all the time, that there are some periods when you need to have continuity, and that was one of them, and that was one which could make a real impact. I mean, bedtime stories are things that, children probably don't get so much nowadays, but it was very important in my day.
After she left, things got real and the truth started to come out, not from some fancy press release, but straight from her personal journal. This wasn't just any diary, it was a raw look at a princess who felt out of place in the royal world she was born into. Anne's writings show how uneasy she was with the monarchy's changing values. She noticed a shift from the quiet, dedicated service her mom represented to a new vibe that seemed more about PR and popularity than real substance. You can feel her frustration in her words, like the meaning of service was getting watered down. She thought the whole institution was losing its way and no one was listening to her concerns. But the real kicker came from a secret letter that Queen Elizabeth II wrote in her later years, and it was just for Anne. This wasn't just a sweet note from mom, it was a heavy load to carry. The letter had the Queen's private worries about the future, hinting at big changes she was worried about. It put Anne in a tough spot, making her the keeper of her mom's last anxieties about the crown. Reading that letter only amplified Anne's own fears, making her feel like sticking around would betray her mom's legacy. It was a clash of beliefs that had been brewing for a long time. Anne's journal also takes a hard look at her brother's approach, not out of spite, but because she genuinely feared for the monarchy's future. She saw the internal struggles and a push for modernization that she thought would weaken the monarchy's dignity. Feeling pushed to her limits, she realized that the only way to stay true to her principles and her mom's wishes was to step back completely. This wasn't just a personal choice, it was a stand for what she believed in. To really get where she's coming from, we need to look back at her incredible life of service. Princess Anne has always been the definition of discipline and duty. Long before she earned the title of hardest working royal, she was a top-notch athlete. Her love for horses wasn't just a pastime, it was a serious career. She competed against the best, snagging individual gold at the European Championships and becoming the first royal to compete in the Olympics. That athletic background gave her a toughness and discipline that she carried into her royal duties. She was always there for her mom, the Queen, and a solid support for her brother Charles. Her dedication to charity work is legendary, with her involved in over 300 organizations, all while staying humble about it. Her strong principles also show in her personal life. In a bold move back in the day, Anne decided not to give her kids Peter and Zara royal titles. Her then husband, Mark Phillips, also turned down an earldom. Anne knew that being a prince or princess came with a ton of pressure and public scrutiny. She wanted her kids to have the freedom to live their own lives, succeed or fail on their own terms, away from the royal spotlight. She's called the title of princess a mixed blessing and wanted to spare her kids from that burden. It was a smart, forward-thinking choice that showed she really understood the challenges of royal life, and both her kids have thanked her for giving them a more normal upbringing. This strong belief in tradition also explains her complicated relationship with Queen Camilla. Anne always found it tough to fully accept Camilla, and her attitude towards her was polite but distant for years. This wasn't just a personal thing, it was about a clash of values. Anne saw the fallout from Charles and Diana's marriage and admired how Princess Diana impacted the monarchy's image. From Anne's traditional perspective, Camilla's past actions had undermined the sacred institution of marriage and the royal family. For someone so loyal to the crown and Diana's memory, it was hard to accept. Her coolness towards Camilla was a quiet protest, showing her loyalty to what she believed was right. Anne's commitment to tradition and duty put her at odds with the monarchy's new modern direction. This wasn't just a family squabble, it was a fight for the very soul of the crown.
Princess Anne's been working incredibly hard to save the children from, and I'm her biggest fan, because what she crams into a day I could never achieve. And we've always hit it off very well, and I just think she's marvelous.
So, here's the deal. Princess Anne's last weeks in Edinburgh were pretty heavy. She didn't make a big fuss or do any flashy public appearances when she left. Instead, it was all about keeping it low-key and personal. She spent her final days tying up loose ends, but also took the time to say goodbye to the people who had been by her side for years. It wasn't just a royal send-off, it was a heartfelt farewell with her longtime staff who knew her well. The vibe was super emotional, filled with genuine moments from a woman who really valued loyalty, and her team was left feeling pretty heartbroken about it all. But what are your thoughts on Princess Anne's decision? Let me know in the comments below, and don't forget to like this video, subscribe to the channel for more royal insights, and hit that notification bell so you never miss an update.